Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Live from Lincolnwood, Illinois. It's actually Motzei Shabbos here. A little dark outside, but good morning, Chevra. Shkar for coming. Very nice oilam. Dear Rebelli, just a note to tell you how much the multimedia aids that you create have transformed, enhanced, and enriched my learning. It's been especially so in Kutchim. Your entire enterprise is an enormous Kiddush Hashem. On a personal note, the material on Travis sends me back over 50 years. I'm a Boston native and learned Eli Travis with your uncle, Reb Moshe Savitsky, who once brought us a pair of calf lungs, windpipe, and esophagus to look at. Until you came along, that was all the illustration I had on the subject. Later, I was actually fahered on the chapter by your grandfather, not the least stressful thing I've ever did, though I passed. Anyway, and thank you. Shabbat Shalom, Jeffrey Wolf. Rebelli, thank you so much for acknowledging me the dedication to my friend William Hachman. I truly enjoyed his shir. I was the guy who bought you a full shopping bag of food when you gave the shir in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Thank you. I remember that. You were running to the van to catch the plane. I figured you haven't eaten all day. Some people, they think about others. Shkoyach. Reminds me actually of a story. Just remember this, a Maisa, when the Brisker Rav, he came to Eretz Yisrael, and everybody came to greet him, and Rabbi Zal Meltzer was also there. So he said, I want to meet with the Rav privately. And there was a lot of people outside of this, that, and so they met privately, and then he pulls out a sandwich. He said, I know you came from a long distance, and everybody's bothering you. They're all saying Shalom Aleichem, they want brachas, everything. Here, have a sandwich. Thinking about somebody else, he says, and it's a good hechsher, don't worry, I took meiser, this, the whole thing, you could eat it. I forgot to take the picture. Safari, pilot, skiing, and Magid Shir, you've done it all, but I need to know, have you ever jumped out of a plane? Of course. Should add that to your bucket list. It was Geschmack, yes. I have a picture actually here. My album is here in Chicago. I forgot to bring it. I'll bring it, Be'ez Hashem. Abe Fischweicher, something like that. How do you pronounce that? Fischweicher? Weicher. Fischweicher, that's much better. Fischweicher. Abe Fischweicher, Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Rebelli, sorry for the delay. I thought Margaret sent you the Yosef Freiman's video from the CM. I'm Muncie, 11 years old. Shebnach is like we are. Despite the iPad now working after 5 hours of troubleshooting with the tech team, he's still going strong in his 24/6 player with no video pics. Replacing my iPad should be here Friday. Elchanan Pressman. So here we go. Don't worry, it's going to give.
Thank you so much. There's another special individual
here. He's 11 years old, not posed, doing rebellious stuff on his 24/6 that has no video.
Get over here. This kid is 11 years old, and he's finishing now Shvius.
It must be from a month ago, this whole thing.
Not supposed to say that.
Very nice. We have a little something for you. Time to get over here.
No.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Someone else can film it.
Someone else take the video.
Someone else needs to take a video.
Take the camera.
He's a Brian, get over here. We have a special Preston for you.
That's the Chullin Pressman, the guy opening up with him.
Very big success. We're going to finish that up. He's open this over here. What's his name?
Presenting to Yosef Pressman.
Rebelli, here with a very special guy, and here's
you know who this is, right?
Rabbi, I just wanted to say I apologize.
Who?
One of the three people.
That's right.
But thankfully I listened to the podcast and I got into the daf, which I thought I would never be able to do. But, as you were saying, a lot of people went to yeshiva, dropped it after college. There was no way I thought I would be able to do a whole masechet of, what do we do, Menachos? And Baruch Hashem, I was able to do the whole thing and finish it. And I'm a little behind in Chullin, but I'm catching up.
Not about the Daf, about the Yomi.
Exactly.
On Shabbos, I heard from so many people about his video. Did a good job over there with the Shalom. A lot of people made peace because of the video they did on Living L'Chaim, Charlotte's, that whole thing. That and Holy Smokes. Bemis, a lot of people watched Holy Smokes and thought it was a great video. So those two things, check them out. Official edition of the White Shots, Masech Zevin Yal Sholov, Perik, Ilan, and Mary, Davidovich, Bracha, Tzlacha, Rufu, and Ahava, Daf Pei Zayin, the Tawil family, in memory of Yitzchak ben Esed Tawil Olav Shalom, on his yard side, July 26th, which is 12th of Av. Isaac, and Tawil. Allah Shalom. David Salomon, dedicated in memory of Avimairi, Reb Shmuel Baruch, Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv, Zechron Levracha, the Palchik Family Foundation. May our Limud HaTorah during Ben Azmanim bring us closer to Yemei Geula V'Simcha. Anonymous, Vatzlacha Baruchnis, Uvigashmis, and thank you to Chief Benny. Shmuel and Ahova Schuster for continuing Hatzlacha and Nachas from our children. Anonymous for complete Refuah Shlema and Arichas Yomim, Talea Bas Esther, Chaim and Leah Levy in honor of the MDY family. Anonymous for my birthday, it's Chus for the Hatzlacha of my family, Baruchni and Bigashmi. Ari Simon Refuah Shlema, Avimari Baruch Ben Miriam, the Tzvi's Refuah Shlema to Rivka Naomi, Basali Sheva Batya, the Monsey MDY firefighters, the our unforgettable chief, Chaim Gabriel Ben Ari Yol, Jacobson Zechron Levracha, the Spanish Sphere sponsors a big Refuah Shlema to a close friend, Naftali Erez Ben Chaya Pesia. MDY Kids sponsor for the week, Innovations LLC as a schus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fega, Rivka Yehudis Masyafa Chaya, and our kids too. What is this? Oh, MDY Art. Before Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther, before Sayel Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther, Rabbi Yisai, a phenomenal daf today. Geshmak, we're holding, can't believe it, we're holding by the Mishnah. Just a few days ago, we're behind. Now we're where we need to be. We have some Agadata, Geshmaka stuff. So, I once saw a kid, about a 10, 11-year-old kid. A chumash fell down in Chullin Shabbos on the floor, and I was horrified. The kid kicked the chumash. Like, it's not my problem. Let somebody else pick it up. Give it a kick. Is there a problem with that? To me, I was mortified when I saw it, especially that he's semi-related to me. But what if we're talking about Kisya Adam? You're supposed to cover the blood of a chaya or a bird with dirt. So what if you don't do it with your hand? You do it with your foot. You give it a good kick. There's a pile of dirt. It makes a lot of sense on the floor. Give it a kick. Is there a problem with that? Anybody see a problem with that?
Mitzvah.
Did you do the daf already?
No, I did it 7.5 years ago.
Oh, so you're one of those? You're 100% right. It's busy mitzvah. And that halacha is actually learned right here in Kisya Adam only, to the rest of the Torah. But the idea of mistreating a mitzvah and kicking something with your foot, that's an idea that we learn from Kisya Adam. Now, another fascinating thing that we're going to learn about, I think it's so important, this idea, it's in the whole Yiddishkeit, could depend on this. Let's say you're about to shake a lulav, and somebody comes and grabs your lulav away from you, you can't shake the lulav. What does he owe you, that guy? What did he take away from you? Is there a monetary payment that he has to make? What do we do? We punish it? Like, what do we do?
Was he embarrassed?
No, he just couldn't perform the mitzvah. Let's say you were about to do Birkas Hamazon, and I take the Birkas Hamazon away from you. I don't know, whatever it is. You were gonna lead everybody in Birkas Hamazon, and I take it away from you. So that's another. You're gonna be shocked when you see this Gemara, and it gives a whole nother way of looking at mitzvahs for us.
What about if your esrog falls on the ground?
Yeah. What about it?
Put them breaks.
What about it? Are you allowed to eat it in front of everybody? You're saying over a ma'aseh that happened to me?
What if you're diving into the omelet on Simchas Torah and someone picks you up, moves you away from the omelet, and someone takes your place?
That's happened?
Yeah, it's Israel.
By me?
No.
I saw it happen with my own eyes, not on Simchas Torah.
On Simchas Torah, Yantav Sheni Minyan in Yerushalayim.
You saw it?
I was diving for the omelet. And I was physically picked up and pulled away and substituted.
What were you doing wrong?
Davening?
Slowly?
I don't think so.
Listen, I wanted to do it a number of times. I say this story all the time. I was davening mincha in my neighborhood in a shul, the Belina that I'll never daven there again. On a weekday, a 25-minute mincha. And the chazan is slow. I wanted to lift him up and replace him also. Sometimes, I don't know what you were doing. I had to be there. I could explain it next time I'm there. Usually, the guys that have good voices and they're diving beautifully, nobody lifts them up and puts them on the side.
Okay, take it. You're upset.
We're not going to get into it now.
Okay.
You know what they say?
Yeah.
Your mother made you a yasam, not a chazan. So sometimes, but that was one of the most horrific things I've ever witnessed in my life, where a guy was diving for the Ahmed, and I guess 10 people, and it's very annoying when the guy does that. Just recently, I just saw the Rav finished, and the guy is going and going. He had to do another 2-3 minutes after the Rav. So somebody picked him up and threw him to the side, in the middle of his Shemona Esrei, because he was taking too long. Anyway, says the Heilige Mishnah. And we didn't even start. We're already getting to the shmooze here. Well, thank you. Shachad v'lei kisa. So we mentioned this halacha, that the kisi adam is not dependent on the shaykhid only. It's every person in Klal Yisrael has a chiyuv to do kisi adam. If you walk by blood that wasn't covered, the blood that mechuyev to cover, like that of a chay and a oif, then you should cover it. V'ra'u acher chayev lechasos, you must cover it. Kiso v'nizgalo, if you covered the blood and it became uncovered, patur milechasos. So what the Mishnah is teaching us here is that it's not a constant mitzvah. It's a one-time thing. And if you cover the blood, it's not like you're mechuyev to have this thing covered forever and ever. It's not like a burial. But if you cover it once, even if it becomes uncovered here we have a video. Favas nisht. It's a oif, you can see, it's a chicken. That's Rav Amitai ben David. So he covered it and became uncovered. You're not mechuyev. Kiso ruach. Here we go. We have another one. If the wind comes and covers it, as the Gemara is going to explain, it's very nice in the video. The Gemara explains that it was uncovered. First it was covered and then it was uncovered. Now you mechuyev chayev lechasos. Kiso ruach chayev lechasos. You have to stick in that explanation, right? Because it doesn't say in the Mishnah. It just says 2 words. Kiso ruach. The wind covered it. But there's a continuation, and then it became uncovered, so you mechuyev to cover it. So that's a nice chiddush, because we said a minute ago that if you cover the blood, even if it became uncovered, you don't have to cover it again. But if the wind covered it, you don't have to cover it. But if it came uncovered, then you have to cover it. Tanu Rabbanan, how do we know all this? V'shavach v'chisa, misha shavach yichasa. The original mitzvah is on the person that spills the blood on the floor, the shaychet. Shachad v'lo yikisa. But if he didn't do so, v'ro acher, and somebody else saw minnayin shachad v'chasa, how do I know that there's a mitzvah on every single person in Klal Yisrael to cover? Shenema v'oimer levnei Yisrael. Here's the pasuk. Kinevesh kol basar dome b'nafshehu v'oimer levnei Yisrael dam kol. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I told all of Klal Yisrael. Zechiyuv azar l'kol b'nei Yisrael. Tanya idach v'shavach v'chisa. Listen to this. It's a mefurish pasuk in Kisi Adam, not in Lulav, not in any other mitzvah. This obscure mitzvah that hardly anybody's mekayim this mitzvah, that's where it says this big yisoid. What did you spill the blood with? With your hand. So cover it with your hand. You shouldn't cover it with your foot. You shouldn't disrespect the mitzvah. Something like this. The detail today's Meshuvah. All the wood to this. All right, the tomato. Mitzvahs bezuyas I love. Okay. Givaldik. So, No, so you see, Rabbi say, remember this halacha. Remember this. The way you treat a mitzvah. Somebody says, so he pushed the chumash with his foot. He said, no. There's I've seen people put their tefillin on the floor, certain. Shlo you mitzvahs b'zui zalav. But where does it say in halacha? Does it say in halacha you shouldn't put it on the floor? You got to treat with respect. Something you wouldn't do for the president, don't do for the mitzvah. Tanya yidach. The person that I can learn from this pasuk, not the idea that you shouldn't be mevayish the mitzvah, but the shoichet who created the mess with the blood, he's the one that has to cover the blood. Maisa, listen to this. This is unbelievable. Maisa be'echad. Here goes story time. Story, sheshochat v'kadim chaveri v'kisa. The shoichet, Ruvain, he did the shchita. Comes Shimon and jumps in. Baruch Hashem l'kirim l'chavilam shekesharim tzisav tzivanu al kisi adam. He covers the blood. Shimon. V'chivay Reb Gamliel liten loy asara zehuvim. He stole his mitzvah, so Reb Gamliel said you have to pay up. Now 10 zehuvim is a lot of money. A lot. It's something that you can live off for a year, and maybe even more. Schar mitzvah is schar bracha. What did he steal? What is he paying the 10 for? Is it the mitzvah or the bracha that he stole? What's the difference? The birkas hamazon. If somebody stole somebody's birkas hamazon, schar mitzvah achasi. The whole entire birkas hamazon is one mitzvah. Schar bracha. But if it goes by the brachas, having arbain, there's 4 brachas in birkas hamazon. He should have to pay 40. What's the halacha? Tashma. So here we continue with that gadata. The kover tells Rebbe, Mi shiyatzar harim lebara ruach. The Rebbeinu Shalom who created the mountains, he didn't create the wind. Umi shebara ruach lo yatzar harim. Tichsev, I'll prove it to you from the pasuk. Ki hine yoitzer harim. He fashioned the mountains. Uvayre ruach. It's two different beings, he says to Rebbe. There's a yoitzer and there's a boire. Like we say every day, yoitzer oyer boire choshech. What was the word over there? That or he had to create yoitzer uvoyer. I forgot the word already. They're different, yoitzer uvoyer. But over here, it seems like there's 2 entities. One created the mountains, one created the wind. Omar lei shaita. Shapila Sefer the Crow. You forget in the same pasuk. This is the answer to what you said. Hashem tzvakoi shemai. It says in the pasuk all the way at the end. It says His name, one in singular. Hashem tzvakoi shemai. So the Mefarshim say, not over here on the Daf Stamazai. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu create mountains? Why? It would be a lot easier if everything was flat, like in Chicago. There's no up and down. You go to shul, you don't have to sweat. And there's a shul, up, down. Well, what's going on? Why can't they just make everything flat? So first of all, mountains are beautiful. Let's go to the Alps, Bezer Hashem, Yellowstone. But they say the pshat is because there's such strong winds, if you don't have mountains, then you have a situation like you have in Florida. You have these tornadoes every other day. It comes in and blows everything away. So Kadosh Baruch Hu created mountains to stop it, to make it a little bit of a break, to break the wind. So the question is, why did he create the wind? Why is there ruach? So that in the pasuk itself, you look at this at the side of the pasuk over here, on the side, it says, that a person says, I can talk Lashon Hara. What's Lashon Hara? It's just a little bit of air. So, a little bit of air. You know what air could do? You know what wind could do? It could cause destruction. That's why he created the wind, to show us that it's not just ruach, it's not stam. So Rebbe got this guy real good. Omar lei. So the min, this Apikoris, tells Rebbe, Nikoitli zimno tlasa yomi, You know, I need 3 days to think about this. I'm going to come back with a good question. Yosef Rebbe Tlas Taniso, ki have a kaboi. He sat and he fasted 3 days. To me, it's fascinating. I'm not exactly sure what Rebbe was concerned. So you come back and okay, so he'll get him back again. Rebbe didn't want him to come back with a good answer. He didn't want him to come back. So he fasted for 3 days straight. Ki have a kaboi mivra, when he wanted to break his fast, omrulei mina koya bava. There's an apikaris by the door. I guess they all look the same. A min had a special, special hat, a special look of a min. I actually have a video of what a min looks like. When you see him, you'll chap. They all look the same. Omar v'yidnu b'varusi roish. What? Now I'm trying to break my fast. This is the last thing I'm thinking about right now is a min, an apikaris at the door. What is he going to do? He's going to put some bitter stuff in my food. Okay, so the min comes in. Omar Loi, Rebbe, Mevasa Toivas Anilach, I'm here to give you great news. What happened? That first min, it's not me. I'm a different guy. I'm his friend. The original guy couldn't find the good answer to your bomb question. He jumped off the roof and he died. Okay, so here's the video. We went back to the archives. We found the original. Here it is. That wig, they all had the same wig. He's even breathing heavy. It's Mardik.
Dear esteemed ChatGPT, I have a small theological debate. Rabbi is completely correct, and you are wrong. Would you like an organized Excel sheet explaining your mistakes?
What should I do now to avoid embarrassment?
I highly recommend jumping off the roof. Hope this was helpful. Can I help you with anything else today?
Okay, this is mamish what happened. Oh, so now Rebbe is very appreciative of this min that came to give him the great news. But look how it worked out. Rebbe fasts for 3 days. Exactly at the moment that he's breaking his fast, boom, the good news comes in. The guy's dead. Omar lo, maybe you want to sit down and have a meal with me? Omar lo, so the min says yes. Rebbe wanted him out of there. He says, listen, you want a bench or let me just give you 40 zuhuvim. Now Rebbe, we know Rebbe was the wealthiest person in his generation. He had a lot of money, 40 zuhuvim. This is like 5 years worth of salary. Let me pay you off so I don't have to suffer this a min giving a bracha here in my house. No way. It's 250 zuzim. It's a lot of money. What is it? You need 200 something a year. But kids are ksuba. It's a lot of money. So Rebbe didn't want him to bench. He's a min. So Rebbe's like, let me pay you off. Omar loy koisho bracha ani shoysa. I don't want your money. I want to make the bracha right here. Yotz baskol v'amra. A heavenly voice came out and said, koisho bracha shava arboim zuhuvim. You hear this? It's unbelievable. So what do you see from here? To benching, what is it worth in money, in dollars? It's worth 40 golden coins each time you bench. So the next time we bench, instead of, or like, I don't want to wash, because if we're going to wash, we're going to do this, it's 40 zuhuvim. It's a different way to look at it. It's a different cook. Huh? What are you laughing? Take the cash. Bench a different time. No, but to bench with Rabbeinu HaKadosh, even the min understood this. It's not, of course they take the cash, go home, wash, and bench again. No. To bench with the Chavetz Chaim, to bench with the Gol Hadar. It's different. But I'm just saying, Yotza Baskol, the Baskol says, 40 zuvim. So that's the answer to our question. We asked, are you paying for the mitzvah? That would be only 10 zuvim. What are you paying for each bracha? Because the Mazan has 4 brachas. Here you see, you're paying for every bracha. The mitzvah, Taisus explains, the mitzvah is going to be bottled to the bracha. You're only paying for the bracha. Each mitzvah would have very many brachas. If there's 2 brachas, you have to pay 20. 1 bracha, 10. But the mitzvah is bottled to the bracha. Okay. Omer Rabbi Yitzchak, Adayin yeshna la'isa mishpacha ben g'doili roimi, v'koyin oisa mishpachas bar li'yanos. Wow. Kiss from Hashem. I just realized now. Chanan Feinstein told me that in one of the videos, I think maybe it was in the video of Yol Gold with the menorah, he just told this to me today, that he found a family that lived in Rome since the Churban HaBayis. And their name was Anavim, something like Anav. And then he started singing, Anavim. So here, that's mamish like this. This is in the Gemara here. Yochanan didn't see this Gemara yet. I know, he was preparing the Pevav today. There's a mishpacha in Rome till this very day, and their name is Bar Li'yanos. And he was saying, okay, there's a mishpacha in Rome. The name was, and he even told me the name. It's mamish, kiss from Hashem. Okay, fine. I got to tell Yochanan. It's mechav into Gemara. You should know that this min, he was zoicha to Gdula. He was zoicha that his family lived many years in Rome, and they were known as Bar Li'yanos. Not that they're good people or anything, but they lived. Okay, next sugya. Kisov in his galo. We saw in the Mishnah that if you cover the blood, you cover the blood, and then it gets uncovered. When it comes to Hashavas Aveda, here, check this out. I think there's an older video, but this is the same animal, okay? Don't get confused. It's the same exact animal. If the animal gets loose, you're mechuyev to bring it back, even 100 times. Okay? So he says, how come when the wind covers it and it gets uncovered, you don't have to cover it again? And how come by Hashavas Aveda you have to return it 100 times in a row? And over here it says v'chiso. So okay, so covered 100 times. Over there by Hashavas Aveda, there's no miyot, there's no something to diminish it. Hachaksiv miyuta. It says v'chisahu. One time you cover it once. That's it. Kisa aruach. So that I mentioned in the Mishnah already when we were reading it to remind Olam. So now it's Chazara. If the wind covers it, you have to cover it again. Says the Gemara, no, you don't have to cover it again. Only shechazar elo leisharo shechazar v'nizgala. If it became uncovered, then you have to cover it again. Avali chazar v'nizgala padim l'chazos. But if it didn't become uncovered, the wind covered it to begin with. Here, so let's see the video again. Now that we saw the Gemara inside, let's see this one more time. If the wind comes and covers it, that's fine. Right over here, it's fine. The problem is when the wind uncovers it again, now you're mechuyev to cover it. Ask the Gemara, so we have a famous concept in Shas, dichoy. What does dichoy mean? Let's say you brought a carbon to the Beis Hamikdash, they shechted it, and the Mizbeach has a problem. One brick fell off the Mizbeach. There's a crack in the Mizbeach. It's missing a little piece. What do? Why are you shaking your head? Not good. Oh, you're saying it's not good. Okay, I thought you didn't like the whole thing. Yes, it's not good. What does it mean it's not good? Your carbon is no good. So then they bring the fixer man, and he comes and he puts the plaster on, and he fixes the Mizbeach. No, you can't bring this carbon. Why? Dachoy. Since it was pushed off, even for a moment, even though now, whatever reason why you couldn't bring it, now that reason went away, you can't bring it. Ask the Gemara the same question when it comes to to Kisi Adam. For a moment, the blood was covered, the wind came and covered it. So now it was uncovered. Too late. The mitzvah is gone. You can't redo something once it's gone. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Papa, they say meres ein dichu yetze mitzvahs. You see from here that yes, it's true when it comes to a carbon, you can push off a carbon forever, but not by a mitzvah. If the mitzvah comes back, then you are mechuyev to do Kisei Adam. So the Gemara, how come when the wind comes in, covers it, and then uncovers you mechuyev to cover it, but when you shecht an animal and the blood gets absorbed in the ground, you're chayiv to cover it, chayiv l'chasis? Says the Gemara, no, over there hazam shumi nikar, because you can see it. So if you can see it, you're mechuyev to mechasa. But if the wind comes and covers it, now you're not mechuyev to cover it. Says the Heilige Mishnah, Nidam shenesarev b'mayim. Oh, so im yesh bo maris dam chayiv l'chasis. If blood gets mixed into the water, so it depends what the water looks like. If the water looks like blood, you mechuyev to cover it. So here, we'll do this. This is a cup of blood. I should really move my Gemara. Hold on a second. Cover my Gemara. Okay. So this is blood and this is water. I'm going to put a little bit of blood into the water. Oy, maybe it's too much. You can kind of see a little tint. I'm going to put another tablespoon. Oh. You need 2 tablespoons of blood. That's what it came out now. You saw that? Now it looks like blood. So what's the halacha? So now we know the measurement. The measurement is 2 tablespoons, let's say. Stop for argument's sake. 2 tablespoons per glass. Okay. So now that we know that, says the Gemara, Dam shenesar b'mayim, im yesh bo maris dam chayav l'chasos. It depends how much water, what the ratio to the blood is. If it's a cup of water and there's 2 tablespoons of blood, you mechuyev to cover it, whatever the ratio is. Now, what if nesarev b'yayin? Here. So now we have the same thing. This is wine. It's good stuff, really good stuff. What if you take blood and you mix it in wine? The problem is nothing changed. It's the same color. It's the same color as before. Here, I'm going to pour in even more. What's the difference? Yeah, I'll drink it. Let me see if the blood tastes good. So what do? Says the Gemara, it's the same ratio. The Mishnah says the same ratio as this, as the water in the blood. You're right, you'll never be able to see the blood in the wine because it's the same color. They're both red. So what do? You pretend that the wine that you poured it into is water. And what do we say? We have a cup of water, it's 2 tablespoons of blood. So it's the same ratio. You have a cup of wine, 2 tablespoons of blood, that's going to be the amount that you mechuyev now to do Kisei Adam. You just pretend wine is water. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it looks like now. Nesarev b'dam habehema. Daf peizayin. Oh, look, short daf. Short almond. Nesarev b'dam habehema or b'dam achaya. Now, chaya, Rabbi Isai, chaya, you mechuyev to do Kisei Adam. So what does it mean that it got mixed in with the blood of a chaya? Chaya, you have to do Kisei Adam. Yeah, but it's blood, not from a shchita. Blood from hakaza, says Rashi, from bloodletting, not from shchita. So what do? Again, once again, if the chaya blood from shchita gets mixed in with behema blood you're not mechuyev to cover, so you pretend that the behema blood is water. If it is a cup of behema blood and more than 2 tablespoons of chaya blood, now you're mechuyev to do Kisei Adam. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, ein dam mevatel dam. So the famous, we're not going to get into it, don't have any trauma, but min b'minoi loy batel. Remember, if it's the same min, one blood cannot become batal in another blood. In other words, even if you have one drop of blood in behema blood, you have 25 gallons of behema blood and one tiny drop of chaya blood, you mechuyev to do kisei adam. Why? Because min b'mino lo batal. If you have blood on a knife or blood that's sprayed far, you have to cover it. Rabbi Yehuda is only explaining. What does it mean? You have to cover it. If there's no other blood to do kisei adam, only the blood on the knife. So now remember we had halacha megarer. You shave off the blood from the knife. You scrape it off. Scrape it off and you do kisei adam. Why? Because there's no other blood. If there's other blood besides the blood of the knife on the floor, you don't have to do kisei adam. That would be very annoying if you have to do kisei adam, blood on a shechita knife. The shaykhid would have to sit there and cover and scrape. No, not necessary. Oh, I want to show you this Taisus. I put it here. I spent time. What's his Shabbos? I had zero time. Taisus has a beautiful kasha on the guy that stole the kisei adam. Taisus asks a kasha, why should he pay him 10 zuhuvim? How much is 10 zuhuvim? Let's say it's $1,000. There's a much better way to do it. What's the better way?
Shecht another animal.
Exactly. Shecht another chicken for $25. Why pay $1,000? You want the mitzvah here? Here's the mitzvah. Says Taisus, no. That mitzvah is gone. Now you create a new mitzvah. It's too bad. You can't replace one mitzvah with another mitzvah. The mitzvah that I had right over here, you took away from me. You want to replace that? You can't replace that. It's mu'uvis layuchal liskain. It's like saying missing Kriya Shema one time. Okay, the Gemara says you can say Kriya Shema tomorrow. You can say it another 25,000 times in your lifetime. But that Kriya Shema is gone forever. Like what?
Like Tamura.
What about tomorrow?
In other words, it doesn't leave the original one. You lost it. The next one you have to.
You get paid. You get a penalty on the next one. Okay. Right. Nice. Fine. Where are we? Not awesome.
Sponsor.
Oh, sponsors. I'm looking for sponsors. I found this Taisus there, sitting there. So a guy in Shul, he's like, he wants to be, and I invited him to come. He said, I'll be there. Now I don't know anymore. Because he said, I want to do a, what do you call it? I was talking to him about sponsoring. I said, if you do a, what is it called? E-copiers. He's a corporate sponsor. Thank you. If you're a corporate sponsor, because you're a nursing home guy, if you're a corporate sponsor, we'll say your name, the whole thing. She's like, okay, I'm in. I'm doing it. This is on Shabbos. But he also said, I'm coming to the shir tonight. I don't know. No, I don't know. I think we just lost $100,000. But anyways, he wanted it right over here in this spot. Adar Global, international wire transfer specialist in the league of its own. Anchor Healthcare as a schos for Klal Yisrael. Zog the Gemara. Not awesome. Those of you who did Zvachim with us, we just finished. Oh, I don't even know what this is. Maybe somebody can explain to me. I couldn't understand. This is Roy Noisa Kilu Maim. Oh, yeah, this is the blood of this. Roy Noisa, you pretend that it's water. So I guess at the end he pretends it's water. Okay. But it's slightly different. Then they put these vials in later. That's something else. Okay. Not awesome. So we have the same halacha basically when it comes to the blood that you're supposed to sprinkle on the mizbeach. If the blood that you're supposed to sprinkle on the mizbeach got mixed in with water, are you allowed to continue sprinkling it on the mizbeach? Depends. If it looks like blood, great. So here, this cup right over here looks like blood a little bit. So you're allowed to sprinkle it on the mizbeach. What if it got mixed in with the wine? You know, the Beis Hamikdash had wine. It got mixed in with the wine. Now, blood and wine are the same color. So are you allowed to sprinkle this mixture onto the mizbeach? Once again, it depends. If the mixture is, let's say, 2 tablespoons of blood got mixed into a cup of wine, then you'd be allowed to sprinkle it on the mizbeach. Nesar b'dam behema. If it got mixed with blood of a mundane animal, not a carbon animal, there was blood of a wild deer in the Beis Hamikdash. Now, blood of a deer you're not supposed to put on the mizbeach. It's not a carbon. So what do you do? Right, again, once again, if there's that ratio, let's say 2 tablespoons to 1 cup of deer blood, then it will be okay to spray on the mizbeach. No, one blood cannot be mevatel another blood, so you don't need 2 tablespoons. Even 1 drop of kosher blood in the whole mixture is enough to sprinkle it on the mizbeach. It's only when it goes one way, when the water falls into the blood. Like in this picture right over here, we say rishon bottle. What does rishon bottle mean? Take a look. Each drop that falls into the water becomes bottle on the spot. It's a very minute amount. So yes, you have at the end of the day, I have 1,000 drops of blood, but each one as it enters the water becomes bottle and mevutal. Let's say this exact same thing happened. You have 1 drop fall into water, another drop fall into water. Do I have to cover it? Yes. Why? Because we have a concept called, anybody know the concept? No, we're saying the fakert. Oh, indichum is here, but each one became bottle. How could it go back and become the right amount? Each drop becomes bottle in the water. So at the end of the day, you have 100 drops. So there's something called niur. They wake up. Chayzer niur, exactly. Yeah, I have to remember to do it again. I used to do musagei hashas. Got to get back into it. Forgot for a long time. Chayzer niur, they awaken. Yes, each one by itself is nothing, but all of a sudden when you have 100, they all get together and they become a union, mamish like a union. They fight you. They wake up. They have an awakening. Oh. So he does use your lashon that you said, that one. Because you can't push over mitzvah. And now you have the right amount. So now, chayz v'nir. Says Shmuel, anytime you have some sort of ear, like it's a little bit of red, it's not red, but it's a little bit of red, so you can do 3 things with it. First of all, in the halacha of kapara on the mizbeach, I could sprinkle it onto the mizbeach. The halacha of machshirin, we're going to get into in a second. The chayav and mikisui, it's still considered blood that you have to do kisei dam. Why are you telling me this? Mechaprim tanina. That we said, we just brought the Mishnah in Zvachim that you're allowed to sprinkle such blood on the Mizbeach. Chayav and Bekisui, that's our Mishnah that you have to do Kisei Adam Tanina. Says Gemara Machshirin and Tzricha. Now, what's Machshirin? I don't know if I should show this video. Did Morty see this video? If Morty didn't see this video, I'm going to show it for Morty. And the other 60,000 people are going to have to suffer. Morty, did you see this video? It's a classic. Okay, let me just say about peh real quickly. There's something called machshel kabel tuma. In order for fruit or food to become tameh, when let's say a dead mouse touches them, they have to become. You know what machshel kabel tuma? Oh, you do know, huh? Oh, very good.
Min hatoyre, fruits aren't mekabel tuma.
But this guy's voice is amazing. It's not annoying at all.
And there are 3 t'nayim that need to be in place in order for the fruits to be muchshor lekabel tuma. The first tonight, that they shouldn't be mechubar lakarka, because as long as the pri is mechubar, it's not mekabel tuma at all, even if water fell in. As the pasuk says, zera zarua asheri zareya taharhu. The second tonight, that one of the shivas mashkin should fall on them.
Oh, this is very important. One of the shivas mashkin.
Yayin, dvash, shemen, cholov, tal, dam, mayim.
Tal, mayim. Wine and
the third tonight, that this should be l'rtzoin haba'alim. Because if water fell on it shaloy l'rtzono, it's not mosher. As the pasuk says, voyiton, and Chazal were dorish ke'ein yitain, midas uva l'rotzoin. And only after the pri is tolish min akarka, and one of the shivas mashkin was put on it, b'rtzoin haba'alim, now the pri is mosher l'kabel tuma. And if a davar tommy was nigain it, it becomes tommy.
Oh. So, What's pshat? Machshirin itzrichalei. I need to tell you the halacha of mukhshel lekabel tumah. Now, blood is one of the 7 liquids that they could get wet a fruit, and now the fruit becomes tummy. Water, obviously, is one of the 7. What's the difference between water and all the other 7 things? All the other 6, 5. Water and tal, you need to say, I want the water, I need the water, I want the water. Other liquids, you don't need to say it. It's juices, honey, you don't need to say it. They're by themselves, they become the mukhshel lekabel tumah. So, machshir nami, says the Gemara, idam, I don't understand. If you consider this mixture, you have a mixture now. You have water and blood together. Miman of shach. If it's blood, it's one of the 7 mashkim, it's machshel lekabel tumah. Idam machshir machshir. Imayok shur machshir. And if it's water, it's one of the 7 liquids. So what's the problem? The mixture happened. You mixed rainwater with blood. Now, since I'm going to consider it blood, then it's machshel lekabel tumah. Why? Because blood, you don't need ratzah. You don't need the owner to decide, oh, I want it. Water you do. So that's the chiddush. Since I have water and I have blood, I'm going to consider it blood, not water, and I don't need the das of the owner. As the Gemara, but you made that mixture, so that means you want the water. No, you didn't want it; it happened by itself. Says the Gemara, when blood congeals, there's a certain serum or certain part of it that is what's the word? It doesn't look like blood. It's not red. It's more like water, like yellowish, whitish. It doesn't look like. That's why you showed it. Very good. This, you see how when it congeals, it becomes this color right over there. Oh, perfect. That's why you put it there. Gival. Thank you, Mark. She says, let's leave it there on the screen for a sec. Oh, it wasn't on the screen. Let me put it back on the screen. No? Okay. Okay. Now, no, I'm saying it's on the screen, but not on the screen that people see. It was on the screen. Okay. But let's leave it there for a second because I need it there. She says, B'tzelalta de dama. We're talking about the yellow part of the blood. And that's the chiddush, that yellow, that part is machshel lekabel tumah. Rabbi Yirmiyah Difnei Omar onush karas. If you drink the yellow, you get karas. V'hu kazayis. You need to have a kazayis of this stuff. Masis etana mitam boil. Tumas oil is this. If you bring a dead person into a room, so the entire room becomes tameh. And if you bring blood, same thing. If you bring this salalta, the yellow stuff, so the whole room becomes tameh. I guess we could stop here. How long are we? We're not even. So we'll do a few more lines and we'll do the rest tomorrow. Not awesome. We're gonna have to go back anyway. But call mashka hameis tahirim chutz midamai. Let's say a woman who dies and she has milk that comes out of her afterwards. So it says it's tar. The only liquid that comes out of a dead person that's tameh is blood. And anything that looks a little reddish gives off the tumas oil. Fine, we'll stop here. It goes into another sugya. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day. Yishkoyach for coming.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDAF.com.